I got like halfway through and completely forgot to turn on my microphone. I had it just muted on my Go XLR. That's sick. So we're gonna take it from the top. Yo, members of the herd, what is up? Hope you're having a fantastic Friday. Today we're going to talk about today's podcast. BSG had an awesome podcast today. They talked about 12.8, little bits of like 12.9 and stuff, just things that are coming. I can't wait to just like go through. I haven't arranged these at all. I am so sorry. I would love to sit here and try to arrange them in like order of precedence or like size or something, and I just went chronological. I literally just grabbed everything, all of the like important talking points from the podcast, and I have them all written up here in front of me. I'm just going to go through them and talk about what's coming in 12.8. 12.8 is aimed to correct networking. That's what they're saying. It's aimed to correct networking. They're gathering info after the patch. It's about hit detection and disconnections. What that means is that instead of them asking for our opinions beforehand, they're just going to push this patch and get us to tell them about it afterwards. They want us to just give them our feelings of whether it's improved or whether it's worse, and they'll take that obviously information and do with it as they will. Nikita now drinks sugar-free Red Bull. Unacceptable. I'm sending him some G Fuel, and if he doesn't drink it on the next podcast, there's going to be hell to pay. But yo, guys, we got some new gear. There's new gear, there's new guns, there's new Vepr Hunter attachments. So we'll start with the new gear. So new gear, there's a whole bunch of new backpacks. They look pretty cool. They're a little bit bulky. The split of like the inside of the container is not the greatest. It's kind of like the Mechanism backpack, where it's just like, it's cool, it looks awesome, but it just doesn't have that ease of use that the Attack 2 or any of the other like generic just open backpacks do. And actually there's a really funny clip of Demir. He agrees that these backpacks are trash. There are 3 new guns, 1 new gun that they haven't said anything about, 2 that they have. 1 is a pistol. It's kind of like a more high power version of the 1911, so that's going to be kind of cool. And the other one's the RFB. The RFB, they said, is kind of like in between an SA58, the FAL, and a DTMDR. So it's going to take the ammo size and like the mag size of the FAL or SA58, but it's in a much smaller package of like similar to a DTMDR. So it's kind of cool. It looks like it's gonna have a lot of ergo. It's gonna be a similar kind of build, not full auto, it's semi-auto, but it's still 7.62x51, so it's gonna be a good gun regardless. There are brand new clothes coming. The new clothes look amazing. For the bear got 2 and the USEC got 2. Now according to Nikita, and these are his exact words, the USEC clothes look better than the bear clothes, and that's never been the case. The USECs have always gotten terrible clothes. So if his word is true and he's not bullshitting us, it's going to be a good time to be a USEC. His other major point, he wanted to say that this is not everything in 12.8. He's always said that too. Like I've noticed from other podcasts, as a developer, he wants us to go explore and like discover things and new stuff. So he has very intentionally left out. I know a lot of things. Actually, I saw a lot of things. I noticed some things that they never even touched on. They never mentioned in the podcast itself, but yet I picked up on them. Like for example, when you open keys, when you open doors and stuff, it gives you experience, gives you looting experience now every time you open a key. Or like the UI, for example, now where if you have a Salewa or an IFAK, it tells you in your keyboard shortcuts what it is out of, whether it's out of 50 or 500 or whatever. It tells you how many uses it has left, which I don't think it does right now. They also added a new graphic option called high quality color. They said that it's going to buff performance slightly. It'll be interesting to see like with the new 3080 cards what exactly that means, or even with the older cards, whether they're going to see a slight buff in their frame rate maybe, or just stability in general. It's hard to say, but they did say that it might be a slight increase in performance overall. So we'll have to just try that out. It's going to be enabled by default once we load into 12.8. Yeah, we'll have to try it with it, try it without it, and see exactly what kind of a difference it makes. There are brand new voice lines. So the new voice lines I noticed were not only the fact that they added a Bear 3. So in the past, it was only USEC that had 3 options. Bear only had 2. They added a Bear 3, and not only that, I noticed that Scavs and maybe even Raiders, I'm trying to remember, I think Raiders did too, but definitely Scavs 100%, Scavs had all new voice lines. Woods is getting a brand new expansion. So the new expansion to Woods is going to include a new operation of base, or new base of operation, excuse me, for Sturman. It's going to be a little over 2 times in size, according to Nikita, which is kind of crazy because Woods is already a pretty large-ish map. And this is going to drop apparently somewhere between 12.8 and 12.9. We don't know when exactly, but at least it'll be soon-ish. It'll be before wipe, maybe wipe will be 12.9. They also mentioned that the backpack penalty bug. So when I first started playing, I've only been playing about 9 months. When I first started playing, all backpacks had like a movement penalty, and it doesn't show it anymore. I thought that they just got rid of the movement penalty and it was just, you know, a different size for every backpack, and they just had their different benefits based on size. Apparently the penalty does still exist. It's a bug that it doesn't show the penalty. So where it's a bug, we don't know like the new backpacks, like what their penalties are going to be or what their trade-offs are, but I would assume that it'd be somewhere in line with, you know, the current variety of backpacks. One of the coolest things that they have added is a new variety of bleeding. So there's both a heavy and a light bleeding. For heavy bleeding, there's 2 new styles of meds. One's like a tourniquet that you would like wrap to like cut off the bleeding, and the other's a syringe to like inject a like bleeding reduction in the form of a hermostat, I think is what it was called. The effects that it leaves, though, if you're heavy bleeding, you leave a trail of blood that you can follow to find somebody. That's going to be sick. I can't wait to see that like in game. Some medkits will still stop bleeding, but it's going to take more HP to do so. I think a Salewa kit takes like 30 of its use right now to stop bleeding currently. So I'm guessing it'll be maybe doubled. Stop a heavy bleed. And then also it drains your health quicker. So when you're heavy bleeding, I noticed in the podcast, his health was just like depleting instantaneously. His thorax even got blacked out very quickly at one point. It was pretty crazy to see. I don't know if that's going to be the same or if they'll tone that down, if they just had it like really cranked up to demonstrate it. But we'll wait and see when 12.8 goes live. Unfortunately, this is kind of sad, but they did announce that there's going to be no Streets of Tarkov in 2020. The Streets of Tarkov, because of how they're having to work right now, because the studio is so split up with the pandemic and everything that they're having to deal with, and just, you know, operating differently, it's just not going to be possible this year. So 2021 is when they're going to launch Streets of Tarkov. They've still got all kinds of cool stuff in plan, like in store, I should say, for us in 2020. So I'm not that disappointed about it. And I think Streets of Tarkov would kind of be a nice thing to come mid-wipe. I think it would be a little weird starting a wipe in Streets of Tarkov. Maybe the second wipe that Streets is in the game, it would make sense. But the first wipe, I would kind of want to have gear. You know what I mean? I would kind of want to have a stash that's ready to go and already built up before I go into Streets. But that's just me. Maybe, you know, you guys disagree. But let me know if you guys feel like Streets would make sense at the start of the wipe. Hey, tell me, give me your reasons why. This is one of my favorite things. This is so sick. They added a compass. Not only is it a compass that will physically show, like when he takes it out, will it physically show a needle pointing, you know, north, south, east, west. It also gives a physical degree number as well in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, so you can make call outs, you know, to teammates. You can be like, oh, he's 285. Other cool things about the compass is that it's a non-lootable item. So meaning that it's non-lootable, it's going to be like your melee weapon, like your Red Rebel. You buy it once, you put it on your person, you don't have to worry about somebody taking it from you. Apparently that slot that they're using, because I noticed when he was like looting scavs and raiders and stuff in the podcast, they all had the compass slot. The slot is going to be used later for things like GPSs and other compasses, is what he said. So that's going to be sick too. They also announced that they are bringing out early test servers. So these early test servers will be on the new Unity engine, the 2019 Unity engine. It's going to be an application base only. So you're not going to be accessible. It's not going to just be accessible by everybody. And it's not just going to be streamers. Nikita said that he wants people that are going to be dedicated and, you know, willing to give feedback, willing to tell them, you know, when bugs are happening, like what's going on, what's wrong. And it's not going to be accessible. Long story short, not going to be accessible to the majority of us. You're going to have to apply to be able to access these servers. And it's not just going to be something where you can hop in and test out the, you know, the new features of the game. It's not gonna be like the PUBG test servers, if you guys remember those from back in the day, where you can just download it from your browser, hop in, run some games on the new maps, run some games with the new, you know, settings, new guns, whatever. It's going to be a little more in depth than that. They're going to expect more from you in return as a part of you getting to, you know, have access to those things. Hopefully some of us get in. Hopefully some of us get, you know, privy to see some of the new stuff before it drops. This next function is probably my favorite thing in 12.8, and I don't even have it yet. There is a backpack quick drop. Backpack, quick drop. That means we can literally just yeet that backpack the second you get into a gunfight. You don't have to worry. Every now and then, and I know everyone's been there, you pop your inventory and you get a hitch. Dead. But guess what? You don't have to pop your inventory if there's a hotkey for you to drop your backpack. Right now, I've had to add a discard key. I've had to add V as a discard key. I'm going to be doing it probably out of habit long before I ever get used to having a backpack quick drop function. But that's going to be so nice. If you're in the heat of battle, you know, you're carrying like 100 kg, you're in reserve, a bunch of raiders just showed up, you can just whip that thing off your back and just start taking people out. That's going to be so beautiful. 12.9 apparently is going to include a lot of features that weren't quite ready for 12.8. There was a lot of things that were either ready and not tested, or just weren't quite 100% finished, and they had to push those to 12.9. So it sounds like 12.9 is going to be a lot larger of a patch, but we just gotta wait and see. The GL40 is getting nerfed. The GL40 nerf is awesome. Thank God, because it's just you either die to a hacker or you die to a GL40. Either way, you don't get to fight back. You know what I mean? On labs, that's what it's been lately, and it just, I don't know. It takes the fun out of it. It really does. It's too easy. It's too cheap. I don't know. It worsens the whole experience. GL40s needed to be nerfed. I'm glad they're listening. They're actually, you know, doing something about it. Apparently they're nerfing like the grenades themselves, and then also adjusting the prices of everything. So it sounds like it's getting a healthy nerf. Nikita also confirmed that there's a stim pouch coming. So the stim pouch obviously will be for your stims, you know, your SJ6s, your mules, your whatever else you want to carry, ETGs. That's apparently going to come in between 12.8 and 12.9, somewhere in between the two patches. He hasn't said when exactly yet. They're apparently adding new things for the hideout in 12.8. There's going to be 2 new skills to do with the hideout, and then also they're adding apparently new areas to it, and there's going to be, you know, they're building onto it. Long story short, they're adding new things. He didn't really like flesh it out too much. I think it was a question, actually. I think somebody asked a question about the hideout, and that's the only reason he talked about it. So the hideout, yeah, we don't know exactly how much is coming with 12.8 or how much is going to be 12.9 or if it's going to be 13, but we just know that the hideout's getting some awesome new stuff, and that's cool. The flea market is going nowhere. The flea market is staying, confirmed. We didn't know, you know, there was a lot of talk on Twitter. Slush Puppy was talking about it, a lot of the other content creators were talking about it, and it was really kind of up in the air. Nobody really knew if they were going to get rid of the flea market, keep the flea market. Nikita said that it's a no shot. It's a no shot. Flea market stays 100%, not going anywhere. So if you were a fan of the flea market, congrats. If you hated the flea market, get used to it, because it's not going anywhere. Flea market is staying 100%. According to Nikita, and this is a little bit crazy, but according to Nikita, they have banned 100,000 cheaters this year. That's a crazy number. That's an insane number. 100,000 cheaters this year. I don't know if that's blown out of proportion. I'm sure there's like repeat offenders and stuff in there too, but that's insane. There's obviously multiple accounts for sure in order for it to be 100,000, but that's absolutely incredible. So the fact that they're working on it, I noticed personally, I haven't ran into as many cheaters as of late. It does still happen from time to time. You guys see it on stream all the time, but when it does happen, it's, you know what I mean? It's not as frequent. It's not, it used to be 2 out of 3 raids. Now it's like 1 in 5, right? It's definitely an improvement. So they're doing an awesome job. They really are. They're killing it. I'm so excited for all the changes, all of the new stuff that's coming, just a little quality of life things too. Just some stuff like to do with the health bars and the new UI and like how that's all going to change. It's pretty cool. I'm excited. And I think honestly, BSG put together a really good patch. Nikita kind of downplayed it. He's like, I don't think it's a great patch. I think it's a great patch. I think 12.8 has a lot of really good quality of life changes and a lot of really good just like content changes for like new stuff that is really going to just like liven up the game for us, you know what I mean, going into next wipe. So it'll hopefully carry us through. But thank you guys for listening to me. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure you leave a thumbs up and let me know. I'd love to like just do more of these. I'd love to do more of this like Tarkov, you know, new stuff. I used to do it back in the Destiny day when they released Destiny stuff, so why not, right? But yeah, so let me know if it's something you enjoyed, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Take it easy. Bams out.
Will
not available.
will there be? Oh my god, the compass weighs 0.5 kilograms. Oh my god, they're so stupid. It made from lead.